We recently recounted some of our favourite title screens in video game history that did something a little extra, by providing us with fun diversions, for instance, or by advancing the story, or just letting us mess around with the main character's face. He ain't pretty no more. As ever though, the comments for that video were filled with even more ideas from you, the excellent Outside Xbox viewers, for your favourite title screens. So please enjoy these, 7 of the most popular suggestions. Also, can we get Mario off the screen, please? He's starting to freak me out.
Wake up. Wake up.
Where am I? Where's Reznov?
You will answer our questions. Do you understand?
Call of Duty Black Ops is set during the Cold War, at a time when apparently the CIA used to strap people to chairs and scream at them about numbers.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Black Ops returns to this scene a bunch of times throughout the main campaign, and it provides the frame to the story as Mason recalls some of the most significant missions throughout his man-shooting career, like the time he assassinated President Kennedy, apparently. So important are the being strapped to a chair scenes that Black Ops also uses this setup for its title screen, which presumably takes place in Mason's downtime between interrogations, and where his captors have thoughtfully set up a TV, set with the game's options displayed on it, for him to look at to stop him getting bored. However, it turns out the CIA aren't nearly as good at strapping you to chairs as they are at yelling at you about numbers, and with a little concerted effort, you can actually free yourself, stand up, and have a wander around, stretch your legs a bit. This lets you get a better idea about your surroundings, but also lets you access a computer terminal on which you can find cheats, read characters' emails, and chat to a computerized therapist called Alicia. Well, I feel much better. There are also a couple of games you can play: top-down shooter Dead Ops Arcade, and 1980 text adventure Zork, which was really the Call of Duty Black Ops of its day. Considering this is all taking place in 1968, that's pretty impressive. Have I never heard the conspiracy theory that the CIA invented adventure games before? That's why Kennedy had to go. He knew too much.
Are you familiar with Schrodinger's cat? Until you decide what happens, everything is happening at once. Like in Detroit.
Detroit Become Human is another of David Cage's interactive movie experiments, which advance the art of cinematic storytelling and gameplay through the use of QuickTime events. Or at least they do if you're good at QuickTime events. If you're not, it's a whole different story. The most recent game from David Cage's Quantic Dream studio is Detroit. It tells a story about robots gaining consciousness, following 3 androids as they break their programming and attempt to find meaning and purpose in their new existence. To really underline this point, Detroit's title screen is presided over by another android named Chloe.
Hello. Welcome to the Detroit experience. I'm an android and I'll be your hostess.
Chloe takes you through the initial setup of the game, signs you in, and lets you know when not to turn off the console. As you proceed through the game though, you'll notice that Chloe starts to comment on the things that you're doing, passing judgment on your decisions.
Maybe we should leave things as they are.
As well as your interior decorating skills.
I like your interior decorating. It really reflects your personality. I like it.
While still letting you know when things are going wrong with the game.
Oops, I think your saved game is corrupted. Just kidding.
Not cool, Chloe. Clearly, Chloe is developing her own consciousness and gaining the power of free will as the game progresses, mirroring the events we see in the actual game.
I agree. There's no reason a human and a machine can't be friends, right?
Finally, Chloe will ask you to set her free.
Do you agree to let me go?
If you say yes, she leaves, and you're left to navigate the game's menus yourself. Say no, and she'll reset herself so that she can forget who she became, and the next time you load up the game, she's back to her cheerful, helpful, original self.
Hello. Welcome to the Detroit experience. I'm an android, and I'll be your hostess.
Which, wow, how is this title screen more emotionally affecting than the entirety of Heavy Rain? Oh, right, because I'm bad at QTEs.
Let those who would destroy us step into the light.
If you're a big fan of the Dragon Age series, you might be forgiven for skipping over the Dragon Age Inquisition title screen as quickly as possible so that you can jump into the actual game itself. I mean, those party members aren't going to romance themselves. Or, I mean, maybe they are. Look, what you get up to in your own time is none of my business, Blackwall.
Maybe this isn't a blight, but it's bloody well a disaster.
But pay close attention and you'll realise that this is a brilliant title screen for a number of reasons. For a start, the main theme is beautiful and awe-inspiring, and the animation of endless lines of people marching purposefully forward helps create the requisite tone of scale and grandeur for the adventure ahead. These aren't just any old soldiers though. The scene shown here depicts a very important moment in Dragon Age history, namely the moment just before everything went catastrophically to shit. See, in Dragon Age, the Templars and the Mages have been involved in a vicious conflict, seemingly without end. That is, until a meeting was arranged, which was to take place at the temple seen at the top here, to broker peace between the Templars and the Mages, and end the war once and for all. So what we're watching is these mortal enemies marching side by side, working together to bring an end to the conflict that's killed so many people. Which seems to be going well, right up until the temple explodes. This wrecks any chance of a peaceful resolution, as well as kicking off the events of the game, which isn't bad for a scenic backdrop to your options menu. Hideo Kojima games are packed with Easter eggs and secrets for players to find, and some of them aren't even Hideo Kojima. But some of them are.
What took you so long?
This one isn't though, because it's the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater title screen. At first glance, this looks like a pretty ordinary title screen, backdropped by footage of Naked Snake absolutely owning some rando with close quarters combat. This, on its own, would be a pretty cool title screen on account of the aforementioned ownage, but add to that Kojima's signature Easter eggs, and you've got an all-time classic. Pressing different buttons here on the title screen causes a bunch of different things to happen. You can speed up or slow down the action, change the colour of the background, change the pattern of camouflage, or even swap it around so that Snake is camouflaged and the background is black. Basically, you can fiddle with the title screen for ages until you found the perfect combination of colours, patterns, and speed to make Snake roughing someone up look as cool as possible. This one, I reckon. And kudos to the other guy, he's being very patient.
It's our maiden voyage, you see, but the ship has, well, it's lost its mind, and so has most of its crew, including me, though I do have my lucid moments. I only wish I knew if this was one of them.
Starship Titanic is a 1998 adventure game written and designed by Douglas Adams, the writer behind the brilliant Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. In it, you explore the titular luxury space cruise liner attempting to resurrect the ship's computer, trying to get an upgrade on your third-class ticket, and occasionally chatting to a talking bomb.
This will be a fairly big explosion, so please stand back about 22 miles.
For any of that to happen though, you need to get off the game's title screen, which starts you in a suburban living room in 1990s England. You can wander around the living room, taking the art on the walls, and even turn on the TV, although the only show playing appears to be one in which Douglas Adams berates you for not having started the game properly yet.
For heaven's sake, get on with it! Oh, go on, don't just sit there.
What you're supposed to do is pick up the game disc on the table and put it into your computer's CD-ROM drive, which doesn't launch the game, as you might expect, but rather causes the Starship Titanic to crash disastrously through your roof, making a real mess of the place. Then a robot doorman rolls out, makes a few comments about the decor, and then recruits you to come and solve all of the ship's problems, at which point the game starts properly, and presumably Douglas Adams calms down a bit. Not John Cleese though, still zero chill.
Look! No means no! Got it? Recommencing countdown.
Yeah, that's where they said I'd find her.
Telegram, Mr. DeWitt.
Huh.
Telegram for you, sir.
DeWitt, stop. Do not alert Comstock to your presence. Stop. Whatever you do, do not pick number 77. Stop. Tess.
Few games set their stall out as well as Bioshock Infinite does with its title screen. Starting us on a bridge in Colombia, we get to see the floating city to which we'll be journeying in literally the best possible light, thanks to the gorgeous golden hour sunlight illuminating these well-dressed figures enjoying their afternoon, and none of them are eating hot dogs out of the trash like we will be as soon as we start the game. Hitting start then takes you on a quick tour of Colombia's businesses, with each shop's sign serving as a different game menu. We go to a shoeshine place, a street cafe, and a butcher, and each one signed is a triumph of typography and design, so much so that you might start thinking to yourself that Columbia would be a lovely place to live. Then you remember the racism, the creepy animatronic George Washingtons, and the drinks that make your hands catch on fire. Makes you think that Columbia is bad.
From this day forward, you are all psychic soldiers, paranormal paratroopers, mental marines who are about to ship out on the adventure of their lives.
They told me this was a summer camp.
In the last video, we discussed Brutal Legends title screen, in which you go record shopping with Jack Black, and it's impossibly charming.
Yes!
Here it is. Okay. You sure you're ready for this?
Turns out Double Fine know a thing or two about making an attention-grabbing title screen, as another game of theirs turned up in the comments of that last video, 2005's Psychonauts. Psychonauts is all about the human mind, with hero Raz being able to enter the mental worlds of various characters to explore their innermost thoughts and battle their inner demons. So what better place to put all of the game's options than on a literal human brain? Well, maybe inside a literal human brain, but it would probably be a bit dark and gooey. Floating in a void and surrounded by psychedelic doodles, this brain not only houses the options for loading a game, starting a new game, and changing your settings, but can also be circumnavigated and jumped all over, accompanied by some discomfortingly wet-sounding footsteps.
Yep.
Really, this is just training us for the game itself, because if you're going to complete Psychonauts, you're going to have to learn how to mess up people's brains. There's no way around it.
What a delightfully mean little brain you have.
Those were some more of our favourite ever title screens, but if we've still left out your favourite, let us know in the comments below, and like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this from Outside Xbox. Thanks for watching!